Hi there. We're going to go through now the next section of my book, Lean, Happy, Healthy You, that I am reading aloud to you. So chill out. Like I said, you got your thing to drink, you got your stuff. And you can be doing the dishes, you can be folding clothes, you can be driving in the car, really. Okay? Next section, the best way to use this book, Lean, Happy, Healthy You, 8 Healthy Habits for Her Happy Life. That's a lot to say, right? I wrote it so I can say it. Over time, when you listen, you'll be able to say it too. Camp out with it. That's the best way to use this book. Camp out with it. This is probably not your first time at the rodeo. If you've read other books on exercise and health, some of this content won't seem new. However, the way you use this book might feel new. Camp out with it. Your learning curve shortens when you implement information right away. You see, there's a curve for forgetting information too. If the content in this book is not integrated right away, up to 80% of it will be forgotten, lost to the ethers, hitched to a puff of smoke, gone as if it never, ever happened. To benefit from these 8 habits, you gotta put them on. Here's how to put them on. Number 1, take notes. Record your takeaways. Number 2, practice the habits right away. Number 3, share the ritual. Teach the habits to somebody else. Number 1, take notes. You'll retain 50% more if you do. Detail your takeaways. Marry the material to your memory with your pen or stylus. When these habits become a part of your personal experience, you'll practice them with less mental effort. Don't skip this part. Don't skip this video. I know it seems like I'm not teaching you anything about losing weight, but I am. I'm teaching you right now with this. Okay. I've helped with the take notes stuff. Sharpen your pencil or get your silky pen. Just so you know, there are places for you to camp out with these habits. I'm reading. At the end of each section, there's a campground to stake your tent of notes. In each campground, you'll be prompted to check in, that's in capital letters, and review the section. After that, camp out, that's in capital letters, and practice the habit. Journal questions are strewn throughout this book. Journaling lets you observe your personal habits and thoughts. Keep a journal while reading Lean, Happy, Healthy You to extend self-discovery. And there's a journal that accompanies this book, and there's also, I'm not reading, the Paper Coach. It's called Paper Coach, and I'm going to put a link to Paper Coach so that if you read this book and do Paper Coach, it'll really help you to take notes, track your progress, and not just track your progress, but actually make progress. And the Paper Coach will change your life. I know it's a bold statement, but it's a true one. A quick aside, the ritual is also called the writ. Number 2, practice the habits right away. The only way to let the writ improve your health and reduce your body fat is by practicing the 8 habits immediately and consistently. This is a reference book and a book of action step. This book requires movement. Get up right now. Wave your arms in the air. Shake your hips to the 4 corners of the universe. Pretend you hear music. Shake it, stir it, wiggle it up, wiggle it down. Okay, have a seat. Just checking to see if you're ready to take your cue to move. Implement each of the habits immediately after you read them. Reading doesn't deliver understanding. Practice does. I estimate you'll be able to finish this book in a couple weeks. Within 4 weeks, you'll look and feel and rest better. Within 12 weeks, other folks will notice you've lost body fat. Within a year, you'll notice you've kept the fat lost. And for so many reasons, you'll feel like a revived version of yourself. Number 3, practice the RIT by sharing it with others. Keep in mind, there's no way you can become an authority for a process or system you haven't thoroughly embodied. So before you teach someone what you've learned, take notes and practice the 8 habits of the RIT yourself. Witness your own transformation, and you'll be naturally inclined to go out and ambassador the habits. When folks ask how you got so lean and energetic, you'll be able to share these tools along with your personal story. Folks are going to notice that you avoid the temptations in your environment that used to have you by the chin. Tell them you have a ritual of healthy habits that you live every day, or better. Buy someone their own copy of Lean, Healthy, Happy, Healthy You, and practice the 8 healthy habits with them. You're on your way. But first, let me tell you why I want to help you. So we're going to move on to what is called part 1, identity. And this is about me and how I got here. It's called I Hate Exercise. I dissolved my can't, embodied my can, and changed my future. I had to be the least likely woman to become a fitness professional. I didn't wear sneakers till my 20s because I didn't consider them cute shoes. During my youth, I could polish off man-sized servings of anything. Plus, I frickin' loathed exercise. In high school, I was a perky pom-pom girl and a dramatic singer. Short bursts of dancing was the closest I got to exercising. I preferred dressing up in funky outfits, pretending I was one of Prince's pupils, in my faux fur vest and hair swept to one side, exposing 2-inch feather earrings. Yes, this was high school in Iowa. I was a bored kid. A creative kid in Iowa, in a small town. Anyway, to think my look could be ruined by sweaty hair and extreme exertion made exercising a situation I avoided like a pothole. Gym class was mandatory. I was forced to fake basketball. I still harbor an intense anger for the schmuck who created dodgeball. I seriously do. Jogging around that hellish red track bordered on corporal punishment. We had to pass a semester of swimming to graduate. I swam almost every day of summer when I was little and in a much smaller body. What were high school level swim lessons going to teach me? I was especially sensitive because it was a co-ed class. I'm sweating right now reading this because it's so intense. I'm sorry. I had to wear my swimsuit without a covering in front of the boys. My hate for gym grew horns. I'd escape phys ed through out-of-body projections. I'd mind plop into my fantasies for 45 minutes. And when that didn't work, I'd find a partner who felt just as embarrassed as I, and we'd cling to each other in conversation about anything other than what was going on in PE. We had to do straight leg lifts. You lie on your back and lift your legs straight up. And Mr. Tim didn't bother to explain how to do them. I couldn't lift my legs off the ground. I'd lie on the mat, legs flopping, pretending I was invisible, or I'd plop into a fantasy with Donna Summer and Barbra Streisand. Twice a year, my school held fitness tests, the bane of my You know what I was going to say. I'd roll my eyes and click my sneakers 3 times. Anywhere but here, anywhere but here, anywhere but here. The worst exercise was the single pull up and hold required for the girls. I'd pull, almost snapping my arm out of socket to try to get off the chair that gave us a boost. My friend tucked her chin over that bar, turned purple, and shook for 2 minutes. The class applauded her. I felt like a big loser. How come she could hold her weight, but I hung at the bottom? We wore each other's clothes, for God's sake. Shouldn't I be as strong? The sit-ups were barf-worthy. The sweaty athletic kids beside me turned green and hammered endless sit-ups. They were built for the running and pulling and crunching hysterics. I was built for performance, singing and dancing and being glamorous. I wasn't the type who felt happy, sweating, panting, and grimacing. I wasn't made to be fit. And I hated being judged with a grade C in gym for just being myself. I was an eater of everything. Really, everything, except peas and liver. That was my thing. If you put anything in front of me that didn't have peas or liver in it, it'd be gone in a blink. My family branded this problem funny. My eating habit was further intensified by their constant teasing. The gorging started in middle school. I'd wait till I was alone in the kitchen with the leftovers. Washing the dishes was also my private time to complete the gorge. I was an expert at devouring bread. Biscuits didn't stand a chance in my kitchen. I delighted in raw foods too. Not raw carrots or celery. Raw cookie dough, cake batter, and brownie batter. I knew nothing of salmonella. I've eaten so much raw batter, I'm probably immune to it. Despite the fat from, desperate to beat the fat from absorbing me during my senior year, I situated a diet pill and soda habit. Before first period, my friend and I would fill big gulps with 64 ounces of Diet Pepsi at 7-Eleven and drink them with our yellow pills for breakfast and also for lunch. After school, we'd attack a Dairy Queen dessert, barf, or at least try, then sing at her house. Year upon year, the circumference of my legs ballooned, while my belly folds rolled like the high seas. By college, I was eating as much as a boy on an Olympic wrestling team. I needed to do something. I needed to arrest what life, food, and gravity were doing to my body and my taste buds. Cellulite formed soft shelves on my hips. I attempted to jog, hoping it'd banish the 20 pounds I'd gained by my second year of college. I heard running worked the fastest. I put aside my disdain for sweaty hair and hit the pavement. At 20 minutes a run, it worked. My saddle hips smoothed down. I'm laughing because I remember I had pink sweatpants and they used to stick out on the side where my saddle was, and then it was gone. These pink sweatpants, oh my God. I stopped running and crossed my fingers. I gained the weight back in a month. This is the body I've been given. I'm a big girl, and I love food. Nobody and nothing can change that. This was the one thing I knew for sure, the one thing I loathed about myself. By age 23, I wished for a fairy godmother to transform me. On one clear day in Chicago, when spring finally let summer have her way, I reluctantly slipped into a tank and my large white tennis shorts. My boyfriend was outside on the front stoop of our Greystone apartment chatting up a buddy. I went down to join him. They paused when I came into view. Both grew stiffly silent. Two sets of eyes hit my fat legs like heat. And I swole with an embarrassment I'll never forget. I'd stopped paying attention to my weight. I hadn't looked into a full-length mirror in years. I'd given up on the weight loss shenanigans. I'd been focusing on graduating, moving to a new city, leaving loads of friends, and figuring out how to grow up and make money. The whole time, I had kept eating and eating and eating. Their silent judgment pierced an IV into my chest. I could hear their criticisms pump like oxygen. Does she know she looks like that? How did she get so big? Damn, she's out of shape. She's got a lot of nerve to leave the house like that. Why doesn't she just wear a skirt? I wanted to disappear, run upstairs, get a skirt, and cry. I heard a whimper. It was me, sighing the truth. I am going to get bigger, fatter, and more out of control, and I have no idea how to stop or make this go away. Time froze that day. Nothing changed either. 4 months, I wanted to disappear. I ran upstairs and put on a skirt. I met Elliot when I got hired to sing in Osaka, Japan, a year later. Our cast of 8 were splashing around the fabulous hotel pool after a rehearsal. Elliot whispered, "You have a nice shape, Michelle." He saw my body after I finally peeled the sarong from my waist. We'd been dancing in rehearsals every day for 2 weeks since we arrived in Japan. My body looked better than the hot mess it was before the gig started. Elliot's words felt like a compliment, sort of. I knew he meant, I have a nice shape for a big girl. My 23-year-old heart laughed and splashed out a thank you, though every cell echoed the pain my weight always made me feel. I'd never looked like the other 2 girls in our group. The other 2 ladies were gymnasts with beautiful muscles like professional dancers. The difference was undeniable when our outfits for the show were selected by our staff. The dancer ladies were given tiny black shorts and sneakers, while I wore 3/4 length shorts over thick lace tights, black ones, and sneakers. I didn't write black in here, I should have. During a private lunch with Elliot, he confronted my weight. No one had talked about my weight without a punchline before. Elliot didn't chuckle. "Michelle, you are young and attractive. You're a soprano. So you're going to be cast to play ingenues. If you keep gaining weight, you'll be playing mamas in a year. And that's only if you can sing the part. You have to decide what you want for yourself. If you don't want to lose weight for vanity, you'd better try to do it for your career." Everyone can lose weight, Michelle. The reason they don't is because they can't see themselves differently. Michelle, I see you shapely and tight. You have beautiful legs and a nice torso. Lose that extra weight and it will change everything for you, especially the way you feel about yourself. I lost my appetite. A good feeling came into my body. Elliot had revealed yellow bricks. The yellow bricks! He dropped a rainbow into view. I shook myself back to Kansas. I was born with big bones. Other family members had weight issues like mine. Both of my parents had high blood pressure. I'm supposed to be this way. I could never control my weight anyway. The smell of food was a bell that made me salivate. I hated the absurdity of my overeating. Like I was a caged animal, set free over a trough where I'd slurp and try not to get my hair to fall, try not to let my hair fall in the food. I wondered how it felt to be full. I'm serious. I did not know what it felt to be full. I did not have that feeling. I had no idea. The food needed to be gone before I'd stop eating. Gone. Now I want to just say something. You know, this is about like my weight, and this was written about me a long time ago, you know, in the 90s. And at the time, I was cast as a young ingenue, as a teenager. And he was right. The casting would have to change then, because they weren't doing other casting that they do now, where they'll cross cast and do they'll cast a male and a female role, or it doesn't matter about weight now. But back then, it's like I was playing like 16-year-olds and 18-year-olds. I was playing young, high singing, young kids, and he was right about that. And it was the only thing that made me pause and think. I had never really considered that. I've tried exercise, Elliot. It doesn't work for me. My typical excuse lunged from my lips. Elliot had his palm up, ready. He told me his weight loss story and how it pushed him to become an aerobic instructor. His weight loss opened other opportunities for him. He was cast in the Firm workout videos from the 80s and 90s because of his commitment. A gang of aerobic students awaited his return from our 8-week gig in Japan. Elliot told me I could do the same thing. I could change my body starting now, and that if I did, it would open my life beyond imagination. Thank you, Sir Elliot, wherever you are, for your rawness and rightness and blatant honesty. I needed you to challenge my limiting beliefs. You made me confront the fears I'd rolled into excuses. I was willing to accept a definition of myself that made me feel embarrassed, ashamed, and misrepresented. Elliot was the first person who ever said I was good enough to have a healthy, fit body. I wanted to know I was good enough. I needed to hear I was good enough. When I returned from Japan, I met Anna. The Spanish, Russian, and English-speaking, thick-bodied, thick-accented, forcefully loud Polish aerobic instructor. My aerobic instructor. Anna. You're not going to lose that weight like that, Michelle. Get off that treadmill and get into my class. That was the gist of our first interaction. Anna had already lost 100 pounds, and with just 30 more pounds to lose, she was the most determined instructor in the gym. Back then, most aerobic instructors were lifetime skinny girls. I'm serious. This is the 90s, I'm telling you. Everybody was skinny that was doing this. This was I wrote this, okay. This was during the early 90s. I swear it was true at the time. I wrote that. I didn't believe a naturally skinny aerobic teacher could understand my plight. That I ate without a gauge, and that I found it impossible to catch my breath after 10 minutes of exercise. I wanted to be instructed by a fellow big girl who knew my struggles. I let Anna yell at me 4 days a week. Go, 4, 3, 2, 1. The first month sucked. I attended her classes, arriving late each time and stopping after 10 to 15 minutes. They were all out kick butt minutes though. I'd give my 15-minute all out effort till I couldn't breathe, then retreat to the treadmill. 3 months later, I stood front and center with Anna for the whole hour. 20 pounds slimmer, I bumped into a dude in Woolworths who almost dropped his purchase when he looked my way. Yeah, it's me. I didn't write that, but that's what happened. He was like, Michelle? Michelle? I said, yeah, it's me. And I said to him, Anna's class did this to me. He knew Anna because we were across the street from the gym. I shifted on the inside. I believed it was possible to change, then I shifted. I'm going to read that again. I believed it was possible to change, then I shifted. I set a goal to lose 20 pounds. I locked into a consistent workout schedule, jamming with Anna 4 days a week, adding easier classes 2 days a week. The 6 days of exercise worked magic on my appetite. I didn't have to rein in my trough-style urges. I craved healthier food and less of it. I imagined my weight gone before it happened. After class, when the aerobic studio was cleared out, I'd stand before the wall of mirrors and scan my body. I imagined firm legs, slim arms, and a flat stomach. The image wasn't real in the mirror. It was real in my mind. I saw the future in the mirror. Months passed, a year passed, I changed, everyone noticed. I know how it feels to hate exercise. I know how it feels to resist it, to feel overwhelmed by it. When I focused solely on what I hated about it, the sweat and exertion, it only expanded those feelings. It put me on a hamster wheel of wanting while despising and loathing. Elliot suggested I take a big vision approach and imagine how my career and confidence would improve. He took my life seriously, so I took my vision seriously. I cherish what my body has been able to do. I'm amazed by the power of my mind. I'm sure my healthy habits are saving my life, especially the mental ones, I have to tell you. Okay, and I want to share these habits with you. Forgot where I was. Let's focus on what you need to know so you can go for what you want. Lean, happy, healthy you. 8 healthy habits for her happy life. And I'm reading most of it to you. Mind you, I'm not going to read every single moment to you, but I'm going to read some very important pieces to you because I want you to get this book. And one of the things that's about this book is it's a little funny on purpose. And most people know that when I teach class, we do rock star style exercise. I don't like boring. I really don't like boring, and I don't like lack of humor. I like laughing. I like childlike living. And so when I wrote this book, I'm cracking jokes, okay? And I do that because I don't want you to be so serious that you forget how to play and forget how to really take yourself as like, I can overcome some of my difficulties without feeling sad or hating myself. That I can have fun and I can play and I can let go and I can just set myself on a course, because I'm going to give you habits. You can just set yourself on a course and then have a good time and reach your goals. That's what I want for you. In fact, that's what I want for me. So I can't give you anything else but what's inside of me. So please join me. I'm going to continue to read some very important habits. The beginning habits are a lot of the habits of the mind, and that's the piece I really want to read. Some of these habits of the body, I want you to read on your own, and then I'm going to return to the very end of the book for more. So Check in. There's going to be a few more videos on this. And I'm Michelle Bernard. I'm glad you're here. There's Paper Coach, which is a wellness journal and log that will help you with lean, happy, healthy you. 8 healthy habits for her happy life. They work together. I will see you soon. Have a great time. Have fun achieving your goals. Have fun.